how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah. Jeez, I really don't know. I prepare myself. I didn't prepare myself. I'm drinking a coffee and thinking what you will ask me, and you give me some official approach. So, first of all, we have to agree that we don't speak English. We speak some kind of English. So, we will try our best. That's the first thing.
We say the platform, we called it Good News with Accent. So nobody is talking about our accent.
Now you have me, so you have with accent and without English, so it's completely. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just thinking, what to think about all this situation. And generally, what you can see right now, and the last information said, still anybody does not know anything about it, how to handle, actually. It's pandemic, and it's normal and it's not normal, There is millions of approach to the subject matter, as you like to say.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm not sure because what happens to me is that I didn't expect it. I have a lot of fantasy and I invent a lot of stories, but I didn't take it seriously, this crisis. Did you?
No, you remember when we talked before 2-3 weeks, first time, and then first I get notion about what's happening in Spain when I saw this picture, what you sent it to me. And it was horror, there is no one on the streets like this. After that in Serbia, very soon, day after, we have the same situation, and you have also in this time also your mind is slip on the two ways, should I believe or not? So generally everything is split on the half, it's this is the main thing. I will say sorry because no, we have mobile phone, iPad, and everything, ding, 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 all the notions and funny stuff, Viber, WhatsApp, etc. I'm fed up with this, actually.
The thing is, when I asked you some weeks ago, there were no masks here, and there were no clients, and I was thinking, who in all the world I know who maybe has can buy me some mask, and I was thinking about you, and when I asked you, then you told me that you don't have mask either, no?
No, I didn't have in those time, and then I started to ask, and there is no mask at all. Just old one. Actually, my late father is a pharmaceut, so we have this old hierarchy.
No, because it had stopped suddenly. Okay.
But Katya, you can edit this conversation.
Yeah.
You don't have to put online. That's excellent. Don't give me that pressure, please.
Well, I'm not sure. So tell me. So you didn't expect. Well, the thing is, I read something that in Serbia, the coronavirus started with a controversy with the president and a pulmonist, Dr. Nestorovic, and what he what he was saying, I was very curious. Is I cannot believe that the same people who survived sanctions, bombing, the day-to-day bullying of all kinds, can get scared by the most laughable virus in the history of mankind, which only exists on Facebook. So, yes. Do you mean?
It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, So it can give you a sense and the smell of of our government generally. But I'm not in politics, It's stupid to say, but this is pure nonsense, pure idiotism, what you can hear. And that was the beginning in Serbia. And after 2 days, they swapped into the, how you call it, this, Jesus, in English, this condition, police hours, how you call it?
The fear cut, I think, the quarantine, no? The fear cut, the lockdown.
But we call it policijski čas, After 2 days, and just yesterday, we have, I have to explain, sorry. Yeah. We have our Eastern, and it's 2 weeks after you. Because of Julian and Gregorian calendar. So we are Orthodox, so it's 2 weeks later, you know. And for that hours, we have the biggest and the longest 84 hours police hour. Sorry.
Okay. So
Jesus
when,
Christ.
don't worry.
You have
No
to
pressure. No pressure.
like in movie, you know, you just cut it and now you have to repeat, you know, second take and third take. But
So
we have 84 hours of not going out at all, because it will be crowd of people because of all this church behavior, you know, what you have to do, everything according to Orthodox or Christian church.
But this happens just now. You can't go out now.
That was finished yesterday, but before that, 84 hours before that.
But I don't understand. You couldn't get out because they were doing ceremonies outside now.
No. You can go out. No one can go out. Just not to provoke a lot of people together in the church or together on the squares, etc. You know.
Yeah. So, what do you think? But I was seeing the numbers, and is that right? You have like 6,600 infected and 125 deaths. It's not so much compared to other countries. So why is this? Why do you think it is like this?
I think it's okay. Generally, they started, you know, when we are talking about government, you know. So they started with stupidity, but after that they realized very soon, you know, they have to cut it and to take healthy measures about it. So we are not too many people. There is 7 million of Serbs, you know. So, you know, this comparison with China or with Spain, you know, there is not too many people, but anyhow, you know, it's a problem in a hospital because you have too many people for treatment, you know, for normal treatment, you know. So now it's okay situation, and we have this flat line, so to say. But I have a question, you know, we are screenwriters, you know, we have millions of questions. So what now? I mean, you know, what's happened when somebody says, okay, there is no more coronavirus? You know, it's not possible. Just, you know, it's like that, you know, and this is the organization, you know, I'm very, how you say, I'm interested for someone to explain me what we'll do. I think we are in this situation, Katya. I really think this is completely new situation for all of us, you know, 21st century, and we have to live with that. I mean, it's almost like a flu, but it's not, you know.
Yeah, I was thinking because, you know, in script writing you have the two plot points, and we had the first one, and I'm thinking that maybe the second one would be that all the people say, oh, we battled it, and then the second wave starts and it's much worse. You know, so it's like, you don't know if it's like being in a movie just now because it never happened before. No, this is very strange.
Before second plot point, you have culmination, and I'm expecting this in culmination, you know, and then second turning point, you know.
So what the thing is now? What's the case now? Because we are very strict. Maybe the 26th they will, you know, make it more strong, but we are now in a lockdown. We can't go out, only for supermarket. We can go out making sports. The kids are at home like several weeks ago, you know, they can't get out. So what's the situation there? Can you go out?
Right now, in this hour, we can go out. Now I can go out, but it depends of the people, you know, the state of mind. The half of the people, you know, they don't care about it, or they didn't read, or they don't have a brain to think about it, you know, just stupid, normal people, you know. Now, according to the law, we can go out now until the 18 o'clock, 6 o'clock. and after that we cannot go out in the night. So shops works normally, but just for food and apothec, how you call it, pharmacy, okay? And they started today to explain that maybe they will open some new jobs, so to say, like hairdresser or this small handcraft stuff.
Yeah.
This is a general.
But the thing is, for example, here, if you go out, there are like controls of the policemen saying where you're going, and you have to tell them where you go. If you go several weeks, for example, I saw a car by a policeman, and he said, "Where are you going again?" I stopped you 3 times the last days, and he said, "Oh, I only heard the police, yeah." And he said, "Again, you," and then he said, No. I'm I'm not worried. It's a fuck if you want to eat the bread hard or not. You can't go out every day to take a new bread. So go on there, and we will take your dates and so on. So it's quite strict.
Yeah, generally in Serbia, now it's open that you can go out, go to shopping, and you can finish this for 1 hour, depends of the city, This is a small city near to Belgrade, so I can finish everything in 30 minutes, Just go to Lidl and to buy some stuff and just really yogurt and bread, the simple things.
But
I have my shop for my hobby, for painting. So they are working, so I can buy my, stuff for painting, colors, etc., brushes, etc. You have some hum.
Yeah, the thing is, are you going out with mask, with gloves, with hygienic gel? How do you go out when you go out?
Yes. When you go out, I can show you. We have all the preparation, which makes you nervous, of course, but you have to handle with this. You put the gloves, you put the mask, and then go out. But, when I'm putting a mask in the situation when I go inside on some buildings. But when I go outside, I'm not wearing my mask. But I'm alone, We have a small, I don't know how you call it this in English or in Spanish, a small cottage.
Yeah.
When you have small cottage, small house, and you have nature around the small house, so you can cut the grass, and, to make a barbecue, So for weekend, what we are using. So generally, I'm alone there with my wife, and this is it, so we can go. You sit in the car, go out, spend 2-3 hours to make a barbecue, to eat in the nature, and then to come back before they close the roads. Generally, when they close the roads, they ask you. There is a lot of police officer on the streets, and they ask you. You have to have permission to work. There is a lot of people who has to work, different shifts. So they can move, but you cannot move. So if you move, you have to pay a penalty. Approximately 1,000 euros is the ticket.
The fee. Now you have to pay. No. So maybe
You're not joking with 1,000 euros, for fee. It's normal. So you just froze.
The thing is, for example, here in the beginning, with going out with the dog, it was very similar because I didn't want to go to the streets. I wanted to go to a nearby, like a field, and and when the policeman stopped me, they also said, no, you have to go around the block only, and on the streets. You don't go to the field, because if we see you in the next time, you have to pay 1,000 euro.
Yep. This is the same situation here. Right now, it's a new law, new measures. Sorry, and this is that older people, 65 plus, they can go out when we cannot go out. So, and they can go out for 30 minutes, just for walking around the block, around the house, which is a little bit nonsense, because a lot of people lives in buildings, there is a lot of flats, you know, so they measure like 300 meters. And I don't know what the fuck is 300 meters, you know, how to explain to grand nanny, you know, 300 meters, you know, just walk around the block and this is it, you know, 30 minutes just because it's problem for older people. It is problem to stay in a flat a long time, really, not just psychologically, physically.
Yeah, you're right. So, and for example, your son, I can tell that you're separated. Can he visit you? Can you see him? Or
yeah. That was the organization. You know, I jump in the car, I go to Belgrade, I pick him up, computer. That's deadly important because probably we will kill each other. You know, if he wants to play on mine or my iPad, because I don't know when I need it. You know, we are in the same position right now. You know, like a teenager. You know, it's mine. So I have to organize to buy new cables, you know, so he's spending 1 week here and then next week to his mom, you know, in his flat. And then after, I have to pick him up tomorrow, probably.
And can the teenagers, can they go out? Because here the problems are, they said that the teenagers and the young people in the beginning, they didn't understand that they have to be careful with the virus.
Depends on the teenager, I think, there. Because my teenager, he's in the computer games, you know. So I think generally the whole new generation, they are used to it, to sit in the flat and to talk over the platforms and interfaces, etc. You know, so they don't have the same problem as we have. We are used to it on personal touch cafes. I don't know, you know, that kind of life. But they don't have that kind of problem. And last night I interviewed him, you know, just ask, do you have a need, you know, to see your gang, you know, from high school? Nope. They're playing games, you know, they are online games. They are in a contact from early morning until the night, you know. So they have these online lessons or this, how you call it, in the school online. And they are much better than professors, you know, because they have all the gadgets, so they can make a bloody test in 25 minutes without any mistakes, you know. So they will finish as the best in the.
Yeah. Oh, now it's freezed again. One question I want us to think: do you think? No, you're working as a scriptwriter, but also as a professor. Do you need? Is it? Do you do everything online now?
Yes, and I have to admit that it's not a big problem this Corona time. It's not a problem for me, but I have to explain that I have small classes, you know, screenwriting class. It's 5 people, and I have 3 different classes: master, normal, you know, elementary stuff, and some other course. And I have 15 people, so with 15 people, I can handle without any problems. You know, I put all the lectures over the net. You know, I have to upload. They have they have online conversation, and mainly we are in Word, you know, in computer, so I can read it and then to make a, how you could call it, communication, you know. Sorry, it's
the busy.
Sorry. No,
don't worry.
Down.
Don't worry, Milan. One question is: do you notice that the stories have changed now? That the people are more creative, or that they, I don't know, if that they look for other ideas or what?
I don't know. I think it depends. Probably it depends. You know, you know me and screenwriting. We are used to it, to sit 8 or 10 hours per day to write in front of the computer. It does not matter. Are you in Spain or in Thailand? You know how it's beautiful because you're writing. You know, it's definitely this situation. It's very in favor for screenwriting. So because you don't have any distractions from other side, you cannot move. You are in the home, so you can watch movies, you can watch TV series, and you can write your own stuff. You know, so it's excellent, you know, from that point of view. But for me, this is like, I cannot watch any movie anymore. I know every movie because we are, you know, I'm watching two movies per day. You know, it's business. You know, that's
But
it.
the thing is, do you have because I think maybe you start to make improvisation in the daily life, you know. So I think that maybe, you know, we are more creative at the moment, or do you think that the people, for example, look more for more funny things when they have ideas, or, you know, that what I said during the war, for example, there were more comedies. The people now, when they are writing ideas now, do you have, or your students, do you notice something, a difference?
Of course, but because you know the this hard time makes people get explode in the brain, so to say. You know, they get more creative. You know, they really get more creative. It depends of the direction, you know, and it's much funnier. It's much funnier, and because you cannot move. You're not distracted, you know, you have full concentration on your spot, so you can make this different point of view on the subject matter, you know. Generally, I think this is true, you know.
And the thing is also, I think that the people also try to I suppose the film industry will be very difficult, but for example, Netflix and all this, they have a boom, no? Because people are trying to get into other stories than yours, because there are a lot of people that not only at home, but they lose people. You know, they are very confronted with death and so on, no? So, what impact do you think have this on, you know, on the movie industry and in general?
But I think that they started a little bit before Corona. You know, Corona just helps. You know, that kind of pandemic. You know, sitting in helps you to understand this, because generally Netflix and HBO, generally Netflix have the brand new, completely new narrative in TV serial. You know, according to the author touch. You know, and it's much better than normal television, you know, this cable or national TV station which you gives you. So we will see, you know. I don't know.
But do you think that the people, for example, now look for other contents? I'm not sure, you know. Not very. For example, if you see Netflix or HBO or whatever, there were like Handmaid's Tale, not very, you know, very, a lot of sex, a lot of violence, a lot of very new dramatic plot telling. And I'm not sure if now, as you have this situation, maybe they, you know, they will see other things.
like
You
like
know what I mean?
opposite
Yeah,
side.
the opposite maybe.
Like,
What do you think?
hmm, hmm, what to say? Okay, this is the difficult one, Katya. We have to
No,
talk.
because I noticed it was Handmaid's
I know
Tale
what you're
that I really like, but I'm not sure because now you're in a situation that is very not similar, but you know, a very hard situation. So maybe now I'm not so keen to see again the same situation again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understood you perfectly. It's difficult for me to answer this because there is few problems. I mean, few stuffs about it. First thing, it's that you fed up with Hollywood narrative, you know, but classical, you know, what you can see. If we are talking about this, and normally as a consumer, you need something else, you know, something new, some fresh air, so to say, in a narrative, you know. But we have this in last 7 or 10 years, you know, that kind of movies which I cannot stand, you know, because it's full of emotion and nothing to say, you know. So, like big, I hate author movies, you know, brand new movies, you know, on the left wing, so to say, because nothing happened, you know, and that makes me nervous, really, you know. It's boring. It's just boring. They have they want something to say, but they cannot say, you know, and they terrorize you with that kind of emotional state of mind, you know. It's just boring movie for me. I have to put this, or you know,
Yeah.
call it. For me, it's just boring, you know. But you have excellent TV series on the Netflix, completely different narrative, you know, completely that swapping your mind, you know, totally. So I don't know. Is it because of coronavirus? Let's answer your on your question. It's too difficult, baby.
Okay. So the last thing is, are there a lot of more platforms? I don't want to make, say that it's one or another. The last question is, do you see, because we're trying to do constructive, positive things, do you think that do you see something positive out of this crisis?
That's a good question. Of course, I mean, every crisis, you know, for human beings, you know, makes you more emotional than normal. The, what is my problem? What is the meaning? The meaning is that you have to have empathy to other human beings. Maybe they will teach people generally, you know, generally to have empathy to other people, you know, that you can understand before you react, you know. That's the main outcome generally. But coronavirus makes something else in the same time, that now we have to used to it to talk over the Skype, not to go personally in a cafe and to talk about it. And I don't have answer for this, you know. Generally, you don't need to go to church for religious people, you know. You really don't need, you know. Basically, change your elementary stuff. You can see your friend over the Skype. You can drink bloody coffee with them like this. You don't need this, you know, on the basic point of view. But we need this. So
Yeah. The thing,
you know,
and and the last question. This is really the last one.
what is
Is
good?
what?
The good stuff. It's that it's connecting people during the hard times. In the same time, it's problem. You know, as always. So
Yeah, you're right. The last thing is, imagine that you're now writing this story as a script writer. How how would you how would you end it, or what do you think? You know, how,
okay.
what was be the last scene?
The last scene for me, so, like a second turning point. You know, you didn't expect. You know, the last. I don't know. I will jump into science fiction. You know, let's change the planet a little bit so you can move. You know, it will be something.
Okay.
According, you know, before Corona, you know, you have the same problem with the planet. You know, and
Yeah.
you know what it's devastating point of view, which I realized before 2-3 days. I was astounding how many junks and how you call it this. Jesus Christ! Give me a second, Katya. My brain stops. No. How you put? How many shit we put in the garbage can? How
Yeah.
many garbage we are making, not moving from our flat? It's all bloody day. I have 2 bags of plastic shit. I have. So you can imagine, you know, I don't know how many people are on the planet, 1,000,000,007 or something. No, 7,
Yeah.
something like this. So we are creating garbage. It's amazing, you know. We are more creative in this making garbage than everything, you know, on the planet. That makes you nervous. You know? It's not positive stuff, but I think we have to think about it, you know. It's just, you know, you cannot move and you just see garbage, you know, just rising, you know, every 2 seconds, you know. And you are making this, not anybody else. No, you are making this shit.
And we have to solve it, no?
and we have, you know.
Yeah,
So,
that's over it. Okay,
so
thanks.
positive stuff about coronavirus is that we realize that we humans are virus on this planet.
Yeah,
I think that that's the main outcome. You know,
yeah,
you have to think. I mean, we have to think about it.
yeah, you're right. Okay, this was a good final word.
Maybe.
I say end. And we speak another time, yeah? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so let's call normally before.
And don't smoke so much. We have coronavirus.
I just wanted to explain, this is a small, you know, can-made cigarettes, and they are quitting. If I put it down, they stop.